And then LeBron, he was phenomenal to do what he did this year at 37.
Averaging 30 points.
You know what I'm saying? He just did stuff that, again, in my opinion, solidify him as one of the greats. But not even that was enough to overcome the deficiencies of this lack of roster, no depth off the bench, no nothing that was a threat to no other team that's a contender. Not in the West, definitely, but just in the NBA in general, man. So it was crazy this year, man, to see the Lakers go out like that.
I think in simplest terms, bro, for me, is LeBron just cannot carry 12 guys that just no-name guys to the finals no more. You know what I'm saying? Like,
He
that
37.
part of his prime is over with now. You get what I'm saying? Even though he won the championship like 2 years ago, but just being able to carry Joes and Jims and Joes to the final, that's over.
Man, and I had the thought, bro, speaking of that, I was thinking like, man, sometimes we never look at this, but major salute to LeBron for always being the guy that got to carry the team. Never getting a year off where you just blending in.
Let me just go through my young dog, bro. We rolled through AD.
You know what I'm saying? Like, like he 37 and was probably looking to pass the baton and let AD carry the mantle. Or even Westbrook, who younger, who in his prime. And nevertheless, this guy was still carrying the load, carrying the mantle.
I'm sure that's what the vision was, man. Having him come over, a ball of energy. You'll be able to play with AD on some nights when LeBron need to rest, or on other nights when AD need to rest. It still could have been two superstars on the floor to kind of balance things out. So I'm sure when they decided or when they talked about it at first, like, man, we could really do some things with this. But man, the way it ended up was just not successful at all. See, Westbrook, your guy, man. You kind of quiet over there, man.
I'm just balling all in, man. I think y'all hit some good points, bro. All the things y'all said was valid. My thing is, like, I think when you're in that superstar role, and LeBron is always getting compared to Jordan, they always compare him to GOAT.
Yeah, for sure.
And you know, it's another side to it, though, bro. Like, at the end of the day, you know, you got AD, you got Westbrook, you got Malik Monk, you got some other decent players, you know what I mean, that can rebound, that can play some defense. And I think from a LeBron standpoint, what is your leadership like in the locker room? What is your leadership like in the on practice behind the scenes? Because that team's still talented enough to be an 8th to 10th seed in the playoffs.
I agree with that.
I don't question LeBron leadership though on that. I more look at schematic. I more look at coaching. I more look at, do we got the right guys on the floor? Do we got the right people to complement what we're trying to do? What was their identity this year? Are we playing big man ball, small ball? Like it was a lot of just, I don't think none of that is a knock on his leadership or what he may or may not be doing in the locker room. What I still always saw that he's always brought, and I would give him the credit for this whole wave of being energized, the handshakes, the fun on the sidelines. Like people still love to play, hang out, and do the beyond the basketball stuff with LeBron and how he go about the game. So I think his leadership is still one of which I ain't gonna never question, because he's just done too much from an individual and team collectively standpoint. I just know, I don't know if Vogel was getting through to the guys. Sometimes, man, your coach loses his lust. Your voice loses its lust.
That's a good point.
To the locker room.
But we can't put this all on him though.
No, it ain't all Vogel. It's not a one-sided thing.
He was with this team. They just won They won a championship with Vogel. He got a ton of experience. He's a good coach. He's in a tough situation. You know what I mean? LeBron made a lot of moves. LeBron was part of the Westbrook. You know what I mean? He wanted Westbrook. We know that. Melo came. Yeah. This is what you want. Yeah. You know what I mean? And how can we get this thing going?
Sometimes,
and it wasn't,
man, you got to say the superstar from himself, man. And that's what I'm thinking. As the Lakers brass, the GM and owner, you should have been like, man, understandable you want Russ, but for us right now, the best way we going to win is if we surround you with shooters. You know what I'm saying? You and AD with shooters, bro. Yeah. Westbrook, good idea, but that's just not what. Sometimes you got, again, save him from himself. Like, you make the call. That's why you're in that position. You got final say. So I think that should have been more at play.
The coach has to be the coach, and the player have to be the player. This come down to that. unfortunately, when it go well, you get all the praise. When it don't go well,
right, everybody's shelling the blame.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But at some point, leadership, the president, the GMs gotta. We run that ship. You know what I'm saying? And LeBron, as much as we trust your IQ on basketball and talent, you know what I'm saying? We're trying to construct a winning team. You trying to get pieces that may not be conducive to what we're trying to do. Yeah. So, like I say, it's a lot of blame to go around for everybody this particular year. I don't think leadership of LeBron was one of those things, though.
Just a letdown and all, man.
Yeah, totally. Just a bad season.
So what's next? Like, for my thing is, what you think about, why you guys think Westbrook struggled this year? What was his big, why do you think he struggled so much this
year? I think it's accountability, man, or not even that. It's accountability, but it's expectations for your play. Like, now you playing in LA. The camera's always gonna be in LA. They always on TV. You playing with LeBron. You playing. You get what I'm saying? You at home. It's a story behind you now. Like, you dropped a documentary at the beginning of the season. Like, it's a whole bunch that went into it. In these other places, it wasn't. So, OKC wasn't on TV every night. Houston wasn't on TV every night. The Wizards wasn't on TV. Small market teams didn't get the coverage. So now everything you do is under the spotlight. Yeah. Them triple doubles is cool, but now you adding a lot of turnovers and a lot of bad play with that, and we viewing it every single night.
I think too, man. Sometimes, like Stephen A., and this ain't about him, but him putting and making the focal point around his. Man, that triple double stuff don't mean nothing. It's time to win. So now everybody, man, that triple double stuff is common nature now in this new NBA.
Oh, that's still a hell of a feat, though, bro. 4 out of 5 years to do that, that's crazy.
But now that Stephen A. took his best feet away, now we're only looking at you. But are you winning with that triple double? Did y'all win the game and did y'all win that season? And now the focus has shifted.
The narrative has changed.
And Stephen A. ushered that in. He ain't no longer applauding you. Your triple double don't even make ESPN no more. So they're taking that away. So now you just showing bricks off the backboard, air balls, and
it's been a smash for us.
You know what I'm saying? So it just went all downhill. Then the onslaught of social media, the hate, the trolls. You know what I'm saying? He got to a point, man. He said his wife and kids no longer could come to the games because they are harassing his kids and his wife in the stands, sending death threats to his house just because you missing a shot. You know what I'm saying? And
I don't agree with that, but you in control of that, Russ. You know what I mean? Like, bro, fan is short for fanatic, bro. They pay your salary. They come to those games, they gonna say and hurl and say all type of stuff maybe that you don't want to hear or that's not pleasing to the ear. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that's part of the game, bro. You had no problem with it.
It is. And a way to shut that up is to be successful.
There you go.
Do your job.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? So, again, like you said, that's not an excuse. I'm just saying
to
your broader question.
Yeah, facts.
Those are some of the things that because you got to still go through that slump to come out of that to be able to get yourself back on track.
And I could have been associated with this slump sometime. Like, man, you don't even know, bro. My family, they going through it. They getting called stuff and said.
And sometimes, man, people don't talk about this, but going and playing for your hometown,
it's not always the best thing.
It ain't always the best thing.
It's not.
LeBron pulled it off going back to Cleveland and winning their first championship, but that ain't something. He's special.
He one of one,
he
bro.
One of one.
That's Cleveland too, though. You know what I mean?
That's the mecca of sports in the world. Basketball, baseball, football.
But Cleveland don't do well. They don't do well from a basketball standpoint. They ain't won like a championship in like 60-something years. Though.
Exactly. That was the first one.
Yeah. So there wasn't no expectation.
No, not
like
now
you go to LA,
but
like you said.
But they fan base still expected. But like you said in LA.
You know what I mean? LA is
the city expected, the fan base, the media, you know what I'm saying? And you playing with the biggest star in the sport.
I definitely agree with you. I think Westbrook struggled with the spotlight. Yep. Like you said, all those things, man, that stuff matter. Every night you have to show out, bro. You have to do something well. You have to be solid. You can't have a down night. You can do that in Houston. You can't have that, bro. And I think, I don't want to say, I just think he's struggling in that, being in that spotlight, bro. You know what I mean?
And players have to sometimes come to the realization, like, everybody ain't made to play in a big market. Like, some of y'all need them low, small market OKCs
of a small market.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody, LeBron is a one of one, and no matter what people say, very few people can do what he did at that level for this long and consistent.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? coming out of high school, you lived up to it. You brought Cleveland a championship, Miami a championship, got to the Lakers first year, brought them a championship.
Bubble.
You know what I'm saying? And so everybody just can't pull that off, man. He's special, but even as special as he is, he need help. Yeah. He need the right team around his career
for sure.
So why? So now Frank Vogel, he get fired. So,
like Chris said, man, it's time for a new voice. Like that voice ran its course. Yeah. So it's time to bring somebody else in. Maybe they got a new philosophy. Maybe it's not defense. You know what I'm saying? They've been hearing the defensive call.
Maybe they know how to get the best out of Russell Westbrook.
Or something, some offensive strategist or something like that. Somebody different with a different voice, different philosophy, different strategy to give them a different approach that they had for the last couple of years.
So if you was the GM, if y'all was the GM for LA, what are some changes you would make in free agency?
You got to get some shooting, bro. LeBron needs shooting. And at this day and age, bro, y'all need to get younger. All the old guys, like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's where they first went wrong at
Too much tread on these tires, bro.
It was too many old heads.
Reunion, old hair reunion, bro.
And much as we love Melo, much as we love the Dwight Howard and all that, like
Trevor Reeves, all these guys, bro, they was hurting.
Like, when I look at Jalen Green and them young dudes at Houston,
they running up and down,
flying, dunking, going crazy.
They need some young guys, bro. Man. It's a younger league, man. You got to be able to get up and down.
It's a young man's game for a reason, and like you got to have that youth on a team, and you got to develop that talent. And LA just didn't. They just was a wrong philosophy from the start. Even when they put that together, I'm looking like, this ain't gonna work, man.
Right.
Not in this new NBA.
And can LeBron attract those guys? You know, some of those young players that be able to come over there. You know what I mean? Because that was the big thing. Like you said, youth is everything. You know what I mean? You need some little young dogs to be able to run.
But I think it's less of LeBron attracting them and the GM going out making solid moves and plays. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but LeBron gonna have influence, bro. He had influence. He been having influence since he been in LA.
And look how that just worked out this season. Y'all need to make the playoffs. And how many ever games under 500?
LeBron can attract anybody. I was gonna say how he carry himself. I think anybody will come play with LeBron, and you get to play in LA.
Yeah,
it ain't to E's point. I think it's more or less to do with the GM and the management. What direction are we headed? And them saying whether through the draft or through free agency, we're bringing in this type of talent so that we can be contenders in the Western Conference. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, this was a crazy year to be 37 years old.